I love it. People are already guessing in the chat box what is, what did I call this thing? Good news and a new awesome thing. And I love seeing the guesses. No, it's not a new baby. If it were just me on the video, I'm not going to announce it by myself. Making sure this is working. Let me know in the chat box that you can see me and you can hear me. Be guessing in the chat box. But I guess I can see me and hear me right there. So that's great. I'm going to get right to the point about good news first because it's a little bit obvious. Well, it will be in a second. And then we're going to talk about trying some new stuff on the homestead. And then we're going to tell you some of the new stuff that we're going to be trying on our homestead with the show, all kinds of other stuff. So, looks like in the chat box you say you can hear me and you can see me. That's great. The first good news of the night, not the only big news, but the first good news. Look around. If you've been to our live streams before, you know where I am. I'm back live from the barn. We are able to use our live from the barn studio again. I'm so excited. We tried live streaming out of my corner office for the last month and it worked. It was one of those like COVID situations that everyone is right now just like, well, it'll have to do until we get out of this COVID situation. We were sharing the use of this building with some other people, friends, and so we just, because of quarantine, we couldn't all share the space. But now the building is back to just being live from the barn studio, and we're going to be able to do this show. Because of that, I have some really good guests that are coming on. And I'm going to tell you tonight how you could be one of those guests coming on the show. Next week, please join me for this live show. We're going to be talking with Dana Thompson from pwakawakavalley.co.nz. She's got an awesome website all about raising meat rabbits. Well, basically all about homesteading, but she raises meat rabbits as well. And we're going to be talking about the intro to raising meat rabbits. So any of you who are thinking about it, really encourage that. June 1st, we have Kirsten Bordner, who's going to be joining us to talk about IPPs, the Idaho pastured pig. They are all over YouTube right now. Every homestead YouTuber has got an IPP. What's the deal with them? What can we expect from them? We have Simon Says Farm coming on to talk about goats. That's going to be June 8th. A couple shows not yet announced. We'll keep those on the DL for now. June 29th, we're going to be talking about chicken health with Gretchen from Sweetheart Silkies. So a lot of really good live shows planned. As I have said for the last couple weeks, right now our live show is being broadcast on YouTube. During this quarantine pandemic time, we thought, you know what can we do to kind of help the homesteading community? We're doing these live shows live on YouTube. Normally, this is a Pioneers only show. We do a live show every Monday night with the Pioneers, live from the barn. They can join me and our guest live as we talk about the subject, ask questions of our guest. At the end, we have a Q&A session. It's really awesome. If you're able to be a homesteading pioneer, I'll have a link I'll add below. Of course, I forgot to add it before we started this, but you guys, if you go to thisishomesteady.com, click on shop and pioneers, you can find that. You can join us for all these shows, the unedited versions, the full-length versions. But for the next quarantine, we said we were going to do a month of quarantine shows. People are still under quarantine, so we're going to keep going for a little bit longer, putting these out on YouTube. I hope you enjoy the live shows. I hope you're enjoying being a part of this. One of the things I wanted to talk about tonight, for you out there who have a homestead, we have been really focusing a lot on new homesteaders, beginner homesteaders, people who haven't even started. This COVID pandemic has brought a lot of people to the homesteading world for the first time. Maybe they've been thinking about it, watching it, but they haven't done anything, and now they want to start. And we've put a lot of time and attention into those new people because we want to help them get started. But I was thinking tonight of talking for a little bit. For those of you in the chat box, let me know if you're not a new homesteader. Maybe if you've been a homesteader for a couple years, maybe 2 to 5, something like that. I wanted to encourage you to try something new this year on the homestead. A lot of times I find after a couple years of homesteading, we can get into a rhythm of what we like, a rhythm of what we're used to, what works, and that's awesome. One of the nicest things about not being a brand new homesteader is actually having things that already are working on your homestead, and they can really almost become so easy you don't even have to think about them. If you've had egg laying chickens for more than 2 years and your flock grew to a manageable size and you stopped, then you can go and do those chicken chores every day without too much worry, without too much problems. Just kind of like clockwork, you're out there taking care of your chickens. The same goes for pigs. We used to do pastured pork back at our homestead in Connecticut. The first year we raised two, and that two turned into four within a couple of months because we were like, this is great. Let's do more of this. So our first year ended, it was 4 pigs. The following year we did 6 pigs. Year after, excuse me, a couple years after that we did another 6, then we did 10. Our peak year we did 12. The thing is, when you're raising commercial style big pink pigs that you're taking from feeder pigs to full size, if you're doing that, the number 4 or the number 12, the only difference is each year is how much feed you get shipped to your property. It's all kind of the same thing. The same infrastructure works, and that's a great thing when you get those rhythms on your homestead. I'm not knocking the fact that you build something a little bit, you get it to a good spot, and you keep going. That's really smart. But I wanted to encourage those of you who have been homesteading for, more than 2 years, maybe you're in your 3rd or 4th year, start trying something new. Summer is coming. Hopefully, for most of us, this pandemic is kind of on the downward trend, and we don't have to worry as much about every single day going forward here. And I know there's the possibility it could come back in the fall, but we can't live under fear and doom and gloom our whole lives. We have to think about the future and say, you know what? I could die anytime, but I have to embrace the idea that maybe I'll actually be alive tomorrow and I can enjoy it. And start really thinking of nice things we can do in the future. And I wanted to encourage you homesteaders to try something new. Those of you who are in that maybe 2, 3, 4 years of homesteading. So what could you do? When we look at our homesteads, we think about, there's different categories. We can raise plants, whether that's fruit or vegetables. So maybe we've been a gardener for 2 or 3 years and we've got a nice raised bed garden, maybe an in-the-ground garden. Maybe we've been doing all annuals. What could we do that would be within our comfort zone, but maybe push us a little bit this year? Try planting a perennial-based system. We've already got our tomatoes figured out. We know how to grow them. We know how to prune them. We know how to can them. But a lot of those principles could apply to planting an apple tree. And at the same time, we're going to learn some new things if we plant an apple tree. And next year, we'll be a lot further along in our food production if we go and push ourselves to plant that apple tree. Let's grow from there. Maybe we've had a garden, we've had plants. Could we start producing some kind of meat or animal product, whether that's meat or eggs, milk? If we've got a good rhythm with our garden, it's almost like clockwork. We know what we need to do. We don't have to worry too much about it. Now's a good time to bring in an animal that will help our garden. Chickens will eat almost anything we cut out of that garden. We can feed it to the chickens, and they can speed up that composting process for us. Eating whatever we cut out of our garden goes to the chickens. That's nice, hot manure, and then we got to age that a little bit, and we can bring it back to the garden the next year. So pushing ourselves to try something new. For those of us who've been doing kind of the homesteading standards, this is where we have this has been the year of our pushing into new directions. We've been doing your old standards for a long time. We've had egg-laying chickens for years and years and years, and I still love those farm fresh eggs. They're still so wonderful. We told my son this morning, we're really proud of him. He is the egg chicken master. He does all the egg chicken work on our homestead. Every morning, our breakfast kind of lunch meal is egg-based. My 9, soon to be 10-year-old son is feeding his family every single day a product that he does all the work for. He cleans the stalls, he collects the eggs, he takes care of feeding the chickens and watering the chickens. He does it all. And what other, I said to him, how many 9-year-olds out there do you think are helping to feed their family every single day a product? I know there are other 9-year-olds out there, but I do think it's a rare thing, and we were really proud of him. And yeah, he actually gave other 9-year-olds a lot of credit. He said, "Oh, probably a lot." He's hoping most other 9-year-olds are busy like he is. But the nice thing is, we've had these eggs going and going, going. We don't have to worry about it. It's not something new for us. We know the rhythm. So we've pushed in a different direction. We've been doing meat chickens for years and years and years. We know meat chickens. We don't really have to think about it. We have all the equipment in a container. Meat chickens arrive. You've seen we've got some Cornish cross chicks. Out comes the container. Out comes the new stuff. So this year we tried meat rabbits. And a big reason why was because of the diet that Kay is on, because of our newborn baby with all these allergies. Rabbit was a very low allergy food. It kind of nudged us. We have for years been saying we should do rabbits. We've been for years having people comment on our channel. You guys have to do rabbits. Why don't you do rabbits? Please do rabbits. And every year I'd say, yeah, we're going to do them soon. I think we're going to do them maybe this year, maybe this year. Well, this year we got the nudge. And man, rabbits have been awesome. Our 3 breeders turned into 40 rabbits within just 2 months. We just had our first rabbit butcher day. We butchered 5 rabbits, put them in. One of them we had for dinner tonight. It was delicious. The first rabbit that we raised ourselves. We've eaten rabbit before, but never our own that we raised. It was delicious. It was a nice little homestead moment of there's the food that we work so hard for, feeding our family. One rabbit fed the whole family. There's meat left over. And it was something new that we've done this year on our homestead. From it, we've learned about rabbits. We've learned how to set up a rabbit colony. We've built a rabbit tractor. We've seen how much rabbits can get from pasture. And we've started to think, boy, rabbits are really good at getting actual growth on pasture, better than chickens. Rabbits can eat so much of pasture in that rabbit tractor. Their feed consumption went way, way down. But their size didn't, their growth didn't. They're nice sized rabbits. They're not a huge meat breed. The rabbits that we're doing right now are the Americans, which are not a large breed, but they do well in colonies and they're very friendly with one another. So we like them, and they're also very friendly with the kids. Just fantastic. We've learned so much. Now things are getting a little challenging. We're having some, the boom of rabbits. Lots of rabbits presents new challenges. Where are we going to put them? I know rabbits are susceptible to different diseases. We've been learning about diseases and things. And surely we will come to a point where there's a challenge and something goes wrong. That's going to happen. But that always happens when you try something new. The first time you ride a bike, you might not fall, but maybe the second push that you go on, you do. Eventually you're going to fall riding your bike, but you're going to get back up again. So try something new on the homestead this year. We normally encourage you to try one new thing, one new animal per year if you're a beginner homesteader. In our Start Homesteading Today course, which you can take for free, if you go to thisishomesteady.com, on the home page, there's a big button there that says like join us, I think. Click that. You can take that course for free. In that course, we tell you how to start homesteading, and then we talk about growing. And we really encourage people to just try one new thing each year, one new animal each year. Now, as you get more experience, you don't need to listen to me anymore. You never really need to listen to me. But once you get more experience, who cares what Austin thinks? You can do what you want. You could add one new animal in. If you feel ready for it, you could add a couple. This year, we have actually added a couple new animals we've never done before. Spoiler alert, camels. We've never done those before. But camels, rabbits. We brought sheep on. We have done sheep before, but very, very little. We have very small experience with sheep. The sheep have been surprisingly easy. We have a video coming up where we're going to do an update for you and talk about how pleasantly surprised we've been with the sheep in the update video. That should be out tomorrow, so enjoy that. The point is, allow yourself, push yourself to try something new. If you've been at it long enough now that things are comfortable, push yourself a little bit, try something new. You're going to learn new skills. You're going to have more products. So if you've been gardening, now you have some eggs. And maybe in a little bit longer, you have some eggs and you take some of those male chickens, you hatch them out, you have some roosters, you turn that into meat. Now you have plants, you have eggs, and you have meat, all from your homestead. If every year you just push yourself to try something new, do something new, your homestead will continue to grow, continue to produce more for you and your family, and you will definitely enjoy it if you go at a good pace. If you don't go too far and too fast, you'll definitely enjoy trying new things. So we just got a super chat, Ben Newman. Thank you, Ben, and good to see you, Ben. It's been a long time since I saw Ben on a live stream, and as soon as I saw Ben, I thought, hey, there's Ben. Ben, you watching the Bitcoin happening today? It's happening, man. Thank you for the super chat. He asks, are the puppies for sale? We never did a puppy update. I think we mentioned we were starting to bring them to their homes, but they're all gone now. All the puppies are at their new homes. A couple of them went to friends of ours which is nice because we've been able to see the white one, the one that everybody kept asking about, our white puppy. She was not an albino. She was actually had in her line genetically a white grandfather, and she got that white gene. She's all white pup. So that one, we have friends who have her, and we've been able to see her. Just the other day, she was over playing with the other dogs, getting big, running around. Really smart little pup. And the friends that have her, he goes with me from time to time. We go bird hunting. So I'm interested to see if she becomes a little bit of a bird dog. Maybe I'll be able to hunt with her. But some of our other friends have some of the other ones, and so far they're doing really good. They're growing really big. They're going to be big dogs. Sorry you missed out, Ben. They're all sold. So I'm looking in the chat box. Good. Looks like everybody's still good. You can still see me and hear me. We are going, we're in the new, like I said, we're back in the studio tonight. We're going to be testing some things out. We don't have a guest lined up tonight because I wanted to make sure if things didn't work, nobody here was here as a guest and disappointed from a bad show. But right now things seem to be going good. Make sure, Bubba, roll both cameras. We got 2 cameras running. Let's try 2 cameras tonight. I'm going to show you some stuff on the screen. Let's talk about, well, I already told you that we have who we have coming up as guests. I want to talk to you about how you could become a guest on the Homesteady Show. But before we do, I want to do the Homesteady Camel Train shout out for tonight. Let you know who brought you this video. Tonight's video is brought to you by Sandy from Western Washington. I want to tell you a little bit about Sandy. She's a mom, a grandma, and a great-grandmother. That is awesome, Sandy. Congratulations on being a great-grandma. That is something to be proud of. She says, I used to have a small herd of alpacas and a few chickens, but now I'm retired. I love watching your family and homestead as you grow and adapt to change. That's what we're talking about tonight, Sandy. All the different changes, some of them kind of forced on us, like raising meat rabbits was kind of pushed on us because, hey, our baby could eat this food. We're going to have to grow it. But other ones we picked. Other ones we tried, you know what? Like, actually, sheep was kind of pushed on us. And so was the camels this year. A lot of the changes this year were pushed on us because of the dietary restrictions of our baby. Sandy has raised camelids herself. Alpacas are camelids. She says, I'm really excited about your camel adventure. Your lives will never be the same, and it's a wonderful thing. So thank you so much, Sandy, for joining the Homesteady Camel Train. Those of you who are watching, you know the Camel Train has sold out. You can't join the Camel Train anymore, but you can become a Homesteady Pioneer, and we already talked about how you can do that tonight. So thank you, Sandy, for sponsoring tonight's show. I want to show all of you watching. I have seen it in the comments section 1,000 times. Is the second camera working, bud? All right, make sure to use it. I have seen it 1,000 times in the comments section. There are people out there with years and years and years of experience in some of the things that we show here. People in the comment section have years and years more experience. Now, I don't know that because if you're in the comment section and you don't have a YouTube channel, I wouldn't know any of that. But I want to know that. In fact, I want to get you on this show. You've seen every week we do this live show. We do an interview of someone. And really the whole thing, if you want to be on this show, what you have to do is you have to bring value to the audience, which is experience, good stories, encouragement, some knowledge, sharing some tips and tricks. So if you have experience in livestock, in gardening, in homesteading skills. Even further out, I just saw that someone filled out our application to come on the show to talk about fermenting, something I've never talked about before, but I thought, well, that'd be a great show. Here is how you do it. So I'm going to show you. My son's going to bring up the, let's see, the website here. Can you bring up the screen there, bud? So this is our website. This is homesteady.com. If you've never been there before, this is what it looks like. For those of you who I mentioned, if you want to take our Start Homesteading Today course, that button right there, join us, click that, you'll get on our email list and you'll be able to join our course. But I want to show you how you can become a guest on our show. So you'll notice up in the menu here, the section that's called guests. If you click right there, here is our guest application. This is me telling you what I just told you. You can come on the show if you can share some advice, some skills, some experience, some stories. I have a long survey here for you to fill out. If you do not fill out all of this survey, you will not get on the show. People from time to time fill out this survey. It asks in one spot here, propose show topic and give me some questions to ask you. People will put like, oh, we'll talk about whatever. No, we won't. I'm not going to have you on the show to talk about whatever. Fill out the application. Pitch me a good show. We talked about this not too long ago in our interview about getting on, the news and getting on the media. But here is the application. Fill it out, first name, last name, your email. Give me the phone number spot is so that I can contact you on show day in case I can't get you through email. I don't share your email or your phone number with anybody. I keep these. This is just for my own website. I host this website. This isn't with anybody else. So this is all just going to me. Give me a brief bio in the third person. Tell me who you are. That's what I read to the audience. So-and-so is from, so it's where they're from, and this is what they do, and here's what we're going to learn tonight. Propose a show topic. Sometimes people propose a couple topics. That's okay. I can be flexible. Here you give me some ideas of questions to ask you. I don't stick to just the questions you give me. I do an interview. I ask you the questions I want to ask you. But there are things I might not know about you. I might not know to ask you, and that's your chance to let me know. Make sure to ask about what happened with our meat rabbits in 2015. It was crazy. Or make sure to ask about my dairy cow, Lily. You're going to want to hear the story about her. So that's your chance to make sure it's a good interview. You can plug your website, plug your vlog, plug your blog. Give me a URL of the graphic that you want me to use in the thumbnail. Let me know if you can do our Monday night at 5 show. And if Mondays can't work, let me know what else. I very rarely deviate from our Monday at 5 show, though. So if you want to do the interview, click that box and be ready to do a Monday at 5. Just filling out this application doesn't get you on the show. It's no guarantee. We have a lot of people fill out the application, and I want to make sure it's a good show. But that's how you get on the show. So if you want to be on our show, everybody that you've seen on the show has filled out the application, and it helps me stay organized and see who's going to be up on the show. So if you want to get on our show, there in the description, there is a link. Click on the link in the description of this, and let me see if I go to my phone here. There is a lot of people talking in French, I believe, here. I wish I could understand what you were saying. There's like a lot of different people, and I'm guessing it's French. So hi, everybody talking in French. Let me know if it's actually French that you're speaking in. My son shouted out bonjour, so that's about the extent. Kay knows a little bit. She's much better with language than me. In the description of this video, the first link I shared, I can't pull it up right now, but in the first link I shared, you'll find a link to that guest application. And if I want to bring you on the show, I will let you know. I'll send you an email back and say, thanks for applying. Sounds great. Here's the date I'd like you to come on the show. If that date doesn't work, we'll find one that works. It's that easy. I wanted to make sure to share that with the audience because, hey, it is French. Good. I've just seen in the comment section the knowledge, people out there with so much experience, so much knowledge, more than me in so many different ways. And we have the audience, we have a large audience that you could be in front of and share your stories and your experience with. I just need to know that you're out there. and I want to make sure that you have a chance to get on the show and share what you have to share. So good shows coming up, and maybe you'll be one of the next ones. Now I want to tell you about our awesome new thing that we're going to be doing. And I have to apologize. If you're on my email list, I tried sending out an email to let you know about this show tonight. If you're watching a rerun and you're like, why didn't you warn me about this, Ost? It's because my email software on my website it just bugged out on me tonight. So I got an email out to the people who helped me with the website, and we'll figure out what's going on there. Let me tell you about our awesome new thing. It kind of came as a result of COVID. COVID's actually done a couple good things for people. One of the big things COVID's done that's good is brought a whole lot of new people to the homesteading world. If you're new here, let me know in the chat box if you've been motivated from COVID to get into homesteading and that's what brought you to our channel. Let me know in the chat box. I'd love to say hello to you. Yeah, and the chat box is still working, just double checking on that. People are still saying hi. So that's one of the good things COVID has done. I have been spending a lot of time, maybe like you, on Zoom. Between family things, friend things, social things, business stuff, all the meeting people that you would do before is 90% of it is taking place on Zoom or outside, standing a little far away from each other, kind of leaning back like this. Hey, how's it going? But most of the stuff socially that we're doing right now is on Zoom. And we've been spending all this time doing these different Zooms. And to be perfectly honest, I'm kind of tired of being on Zoom. Maybe you are too. Hey, Nancy says, yes, I am new. Welcome, Nancy. I knew that. I knew we'd have some new people here thanks to COVID. So it got me thinking, boy, one of the nice things about Zoom is it's very easy to bring a group of people together, digitally from all over the world, all over the world, anywhere in the world, you can get people together on Zoom. You've seen recently, we have been getting some coaching with our camels from our camel mentors who are in Australia and our camel vet who is in Australia. That's where a lot of camel specialists are, because over in Australia, camels run around like feral animals. There's lots of camels in Australia. Sadly, in Australia, they're actually shooting camels and just letting them die out in the wilderness because there's too many camels and they don't know what to do with them. They're actually a problem. Whereas here in the United States, where we are, camels are very rare and hard to find and very expensive. In a perfect world, you'd be able to throw a bunch of camels on a boat from Australia, bring them over to the homesteaders here in the United States and say, here, guys, start milking. Trust me, they're easier to work with than goats. They're easier to work with than our cows. The product's awesome, and more of you can drink it than can drink the cow's milk or the goat's milk. Have at it. We don't live in a perfect world. But the point is, we have been getting mentored and taught from these people over in Australia. And I started thinking about, Zoom is such a good tool for this. We have the Homesteading Pioneer program where every week we do this interview and we do this live show. But within the group of the Homesteading Pioneers, I know there are, like I said, here in the chat box too, and here on YouTube, in our Pioneers, there is so many people with so much cool homesteading stuff going on. How could I bring them all together and kind of tap into that energy and power that you could combine? So we're adding something new to the Homesteading Pioneer program. Now, if you're not a pioneer, stick around because we're all going to benefit from this, and I'll explain how in a minute. So what I'm calling this right now is the Pioneers Roundtable. The idea is I'm going to once a month invite the Homesteading Pioneers to our live show on Monday night, but instead of having a guest, we're going to have one of the Homesteading Pioneers sit in the hot seat, and they're going to share with us either a question, a problem, or an idea that they want to bring to the roundtable. And then I'm going to invite all the other Homesteading Pioneers to join us on a Zoom, and talk and brainstorm and help that person with their idea or their question or their problem. So let's say I am the first person going into the hot seat. I'm trying to build a rabbit tractor right now. I want it to be the best rabbit tractor on the internet. So that could be my proposed topic. Hey guys, I'm building a rabbit tractor, but I don't know what I don't know. Give me your ideas on how to make the best rabbit tractor. So I'll send out an email to the Homesteading Pioneers. And now this is going to be a Zoom event. And Zoom is one of those programs where you pay and it limits the seating. So it's not the kind of thing that we could do here on a YouTube live stream. But like I said, even if you're not a pioneer, there's going to be a benefit here. And I'll talk about that in a minute. So for the pioneers, we will be able to go in on a Zoom live, talk with the person who's there in the hot seat, listen to their question or their problem or their idea. I'll talk with them a little bit, share my point of view and how I think they could do better or fix it or whatever it is, ask them some questions. And then we're going to invite the Homesteading Pioneers live within the Zoom video conference or phone call-in conference to talk with the person in the hot seat and give them their ideas and harness the hive mind of homestead people all over the world, incredibly motivated, incredibly savvy homesteaders. I can't tell you how impressed I've been with the Homesteading Pioneers in the past, the different people out there, the things they know, the things that they've done. There's so much knowledge there, and we're going to harness that and help people solve their problems. And it's going to help everybody because I can film that like I do all our live interviews, and later on I can share that on the channel. So if you're not a Homesteading Pioneer, you won't be able to join us live for it, but you will be able to watch. So if we do an episode on how to build the best rabbit tractor, and there's 10 people there live who all have raised rabbits and all have some good ideas and pitch in, we can share those ideas with the entire audience here on YouTube and over on the podcast. So it'll be an additional kind of brainstorm superpower that we all can benefit from, helping people with problems. So if you're a Homesteading Pioneer right now, and let's say you have a problem, you're trying to figure out how to rotationally graze your dairy cows effectively, and you're just not sure how to do it. This is a problem I've had for the last couple of years. I'm getting better at it now, but man, if I could have had 10 other people who rotationally graze dairy cows sitting with me, helping me to answer that question, oh man, I would have been thrilled. And they're out there and they're willing to help. So we're going to bring all them together once a month during our Monday night Live from the Barn shows. If you would like to be a guest in the hot seat, you do have to be a Homesteading Pioneer. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Homesteading Pioneers now. I'm thrilled to have such support for this program. I know some of you out there watching are Homesteading Pioneers. Click the link below. There's a second link for the Homesteading Pioneers Roundtable Hot Seat. That will take you to another survey to fill, another form to fill out, very similar to our guest application, but to apply to be on the hot seat show. And we're going to launch that in this upcoming month here. So hopefully you get our first episode out in May. I think we have an opening in May. If not, we'll definitely have our first one in June. So hopefully if you're watching and you're a pioneer, you could join for that. We just got another super chat from Wendy. Thank you so much, Wendy. She says, did you keep the tail feathers and beard from your turkey? BTW, congratulations on the nice bird. Wendy, I did not keep the beard. I forgot about the beard. I was so I've been trying for 10 years to get a wild turkey. And when it finally happened, I was thrilled. But I also, speaking of trying new things and being pushed and challenged, I've never processed a wild turkey before. I've never had a wild turkey to process. I have processed turkeys, but not wild ones. And so it was this flood of oh man, how do I get this meat in the freezer? What do I got to do to this animal? How do I field dress it the right way? What do I have to worry about and learn? And I dove in so much to all that stuff, I totally forgot about the spurs or the beard. And to be honest, I think it was a Jake. I don't think it was a big old giant Tom. So the beard was a little bit shorter. Not that that matters. Just it was one of those things where I was so focused on getting the food in the freezer and fit for my family. I forgot about everything, but I did save the tail. I do have the tail hanging up. I don't know what to do with it. I don't know how to preserve it or anything. But that's why you try new stuff, right? Because you learn new things and you get pushed and challenged. The real trophy, like all wild harvests are, was the table fare. And oh man, that wild turkey meal that Kay cooked up was so good. I've had wild turkey before. If you've never had wild turkey and you've never had it cooked properly, it is such a delicacy. Now, the legs are another story, and I'm not saying chuck the legs. Some guys just breast out the bird and chuck the rest, and that's not what we do here. But we wound up plucking the whole bird and then cutting it up, piecing it out so we could properly cook the legs and then properly cook the breast and take care of everything else properly the way you should for each different part. The legs are very sinewy, very tough. Now, there's things you can do with that, but it's not roast the whole bird. That's a different story. The breast, Kay roasted, and oh man, it was so good. We had a nice meal. We had our homegrown lettuce from our Kunekune gardens. That's another thing I've tried new this year, Kunekune hydroponics. Never did hydroponics before. I've done aquaponics and failed miserably, but I tried hydroponics and it's working really nice. We're getting tons of salad every day. So we had our wild turkey with a nice fresh salad that we grew ourselves. And it was just such a nice, just celebratory spring meal that we were really privileged to be able to enjoy. Wild turkeys are hard animals to kill. 10 years I've been trying and I have not been able to get a wild turkey. So that was so nice to actually finally connect. Dakota says, we need some Cooking with Kay episodes. So true. So true. That's one of those things I think once the kids are a bit older. When Kay's cooking, it's hard for her to be cooking, me to be filming, and the kids to be properly supervised. So maybe when the kids are a little bit older, we'll be able to do that. I'm just checking the chat box, making sure I'm not missing anything. We do have some questions. I want to make sure that I've covered all that I wanted to talk about tonight. So I've told you about the good news. We're in our new studio. I've told you, encouraged you to try new things. Covered that. Talked about who's coming up on the show in the future very soon. We have some other big guests coming, but I don't want to announce them until I have a solid date and I'm ready to go. Told you how you could get on our show by filling out the guest application, link below. We did our camel train shout out. I told you about our awesome new thing, the Pioneers Roundtable. I'm really excited to do that. I can't wait to get the other homesteading pioneers on a video conference all around one idea. And like I said, I wish it were the case where I could invite the whole of YouTube onto that video conference. But Zoom does limit your seating. It's a service that we pay for here at Homesteady. And so that will do with the pioneers, but everyone will benefit because we'll be able to share videos that we're filming, the ideas that we're generating. We'll be able to put that out in the podcast, out on YouTube, and be able to share that with everybody. And that's pretty much all that I had planned to talk about tonight. So I'm going to go, we have a couple more minutes here. I'm going to make sure we cover some questions while we're all here. We have a couple guests in the live from the barn show tonight. And there were no questions there. I'm checking to make sure there aren't any. So let me know. And over on YouTube, I see there are definitely some questions. So what I'm going to do is just start at the top and see if we can get a couple questions in before we quit the live stream here. First off, Angie said, I hope you're all well and the garden survived the cold snap. That's very nice of you to be thinking, Angie. If you live anywhere near where we do, probably most of the United States got hit with this cold snap. It was crazy. It's middle of May almost, and we were getting snow. We are very fortunate. We didn't plant anything out in the raised beds that are not under a cold frame. Most of our planting right now has been done inside with the hydroponic Kunekune garden, so everything has survived. If I miss your question, if you tag homesteading in your question, it's much easier for me to find it, so try that out. Wendy asks about microgreens, radishes, and carrots. Can they grow in daylight with only a 5 to 20 minutes of sun per day? No direct sun available. That seems like very little sun, Wendy. I am not the plant guy. I'm not great with my plant advice, but 5 to 20 minutes does not seem like you'd be able to grow. That's where I encourage you, especially with things like microgreens, radishes, I've seen it done. Look into getting some hydroponic stuff done with a grow light. If you're limited on light outside, you can have 24/7, and it's very cost effective now to have grow lights. It used to be expensive, it's not anymore. Real life with Michelle and Rob, they're starting some raised beds this year. That's exciting. I have a lot of people in that 2 year and that 3 year range of homesteading, so that's good. Raising turkeys for the first time, Samantha is. They do pigs every year, working on getting some Dexter cows. That's exciting. Rachel wants us to do more camel videos. He seems like an extra friendly dude. He is an extra friendly dude. I see a nice comment here from Danielle I want to talk about. She says, I'm super stressed out being new to all of this. I know it takes a lot of work. I just love how humble you are, and that inspires me not to give up. So first off, thank you, Danielle. That's a nice compliment. I want to encourage you, if you haven't already gone to our website to take that course, it's a free course, our video course, Start Homesteading Today. I already showed you how to do it. Go to thisishomesteading.com, that big button in the middle, click Join Us. You'll get an email from me that invites you to take the course. As long as my email is working right now, I'll get it back and working. Don't you worry. I designed that course, Start Homesteading Today, to help people who are brand new and overwhelmed. That is exactly the people I made that course for, because I have been brand new to homesteading life. I have been brand new to a homestead 3 times now, 3 different homes we've lived at and started doing this at. I know what it's like to be like, I want to do all this and I don't know how to do any of it. So please go take that course. It walks you very slowly and steadily through the first steps to help you just get started. And not just Danielle, any of you watching who are trying to figure out how to start. That is what I made that course for. I did it before COVID. I released that course. I mean, it had started, but I didn't even hear about it. I released it back at the beginning of this year. We were releasing that. Now so many new people are coming to homesteading, and that course is there and it's free. 6 hours of video, different, just like this program that you're watching right now. It's 6 hours, but it's not a live thing. There's not like Q&As like this. It's just 6 hours of instructional, broken up into 6 lessons. So you take one a week, or if you want, you could take them all on a Saturday. If you could stand to listen to me talk for 6 hours. But either way, that's there for all of you out there who want to start but don't know where to start. Doran wants to know, where can they get 1 to 2 camels in Texas? Doran, man, I wish I knew where to get a good source of camels. They are really hard to come by. Like I said, camels are a hard thing to find in the United States. There are camel dairies. We were scouring the internet to find ours, and we were fortunate enough to find some dairies up in the north. But down in Texas, I do not know. You'll have to go scour the internet. Carly says, I wanted to start for a couple of years and haven't, and now she has 20 chicks in a brooder and a greenhouse on the way. Getting set up for a feeder pig. Carly, make sure you get set up for 2 feeder pigs. You don't want to have one little lonely pig. So just got to go for 2. But awesome. Love that you finally started, Carly. Keep it up. Nancy wants to know any ideas on the quietest chicken. Sounds like Nancy needs some sneaky chickens. Rabbits. Quiet chickens. Nancy, if you get hens, they're pretty quiet. So if you have chickens, if you want to have chickens in a place where you're worried about the noise, just get hens. They're really, really quiet. Flip to that, you could get, we have the Muscovy ducks. They are super quiet. So if you can eat duck eggs and you're really worried about noise, ducks, the only noise a Muscovy duck makes is a hiss. So look into that. Dylan wants to know, do I need to tell the post office to call me when the chicks arrive, or they will call me? Dylan, I can't guarantee what your post office is going to do, but usually what happens is when you place your order with chicks, they take your phone number, and that is on your order. And then when the post office gets them, they have your phone number and they call you and they say, early in the morning, you'll get a phone call, a grumpy post office worker. I know some of you out there who work at the post office aren't grumpy, but I haven't met you yet. I have actually one. I know one really nice one. But the ones who call in the morning are always so grumpy. Are like, is this Austin? I got like 1,000 chickens here. Get over here now. I don't want to take care of these birds. So usually they will call you, Dylan. Ben wants to know, how many cows do you think you will have before you start to sell them? So Ben, maybe you missed it. We already are selling cows. We have our one grasshopper. We've already announced that grasshopper is finding a new home. We're in a transition period because of the fact that we are doing camel dairy as well right now. We're trying to find the sweet spot of how many dairy or how many bovine cows and how many camel cows we want to have. And we want both. We don't want to go all camel or all bovine cow. There's pros and cons to both. I love our mini jerseys. I love how easy they are to work around this property with one little stepping post and twine. They respect it. They get fed off of the grass that's growing up in our field, and there's a lot of grass here. It just works really, really good. But half of my family can't have that product now. So, well, not half, but a third. So we're trying to find the balance, Ben. So we are selling cows. And so far, we haven't even had to come and say, hey, we're selling a cow, because people know we have these cows, and they've said to us, fans of the show for a long time have said, hey, 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 you know who you are, and you're watching. Hey, hey. And so we know right away who to go to. Like, hey, we're selling a cow. And so it worked out like that. So maybe in the future we'll have enough where we could even make some noise about it. But Sis Gaming wants to know, llamas or alpacas in the future? They're supposed to be a good option as a friend to camels, but I don't see any llamas or alpacas coming to our homestead in the future. Down to, I think, our last question. How are all the Kunekunes? Sweet Pea Farm wants to know. I so love mine. They are funny pigs. This is a perfect way to end this episode. We started off talking about trying new things. And I really have been surprised. No, I haven't been surprised. I know how YouTube works. I guess the words I should use is disappointed. Disappointed by some of the comments. I'm an idealist. I always think the world's going to be as amazing as I think it's going to be. And then I'm constantly let down. And I continue to be an idealist, despite the fact that I know logically that doesn't make sense. That's just who I am. I think the world is going to be as amazing as I want it to be. We have tried lots of new things this year. Kunekune pigs, one of the biggest changes. For literally almost a decade, not quite, but 6 years, we've raised big pink pigs. And I love those big pink pigs. There's nothing wrong with them. If you want to put a bunch of pork in your freezer, they're a great way to do it. You get yourself some feeders. You can usually find them from anywhere from $50 to $100, depending on where you live and what the market is and what the demand is. And in 4 to 5 months, if you put the feed bag on them, they will get really, really big. If you let them out in the sun and to nibble on some grass, they'll be happy. They'll love life. You're going to have to pay to, feed them. There's going to be a lot of feed inputs in those big pink pigs. But you're going to get some of the best tasting pork you've ever had in your life. and you're going to get a ton of it. And it's a wonderful thing. I'm not saying nothing wrong about the big pink pigs. And to be more specific, those are Yorkshire landrace crosses generally that you're finding if you're looking for like a commercial style, basically the Cornish cross of pigs. I did it for years. Did me no wrong. I ran a business selling pork. I made some money doing it. It paid for our family's pork. It's just one of the very few actual profitable enterprises when it comes to actually selling farm raised product that we ever did on our homestead. Great thing. This year we decided to try something new. We decided to try Kunekunes for multiple reasons. First off, when I first saw them, at a farm in, I believe I was in Ohio. We were in Ohio. I saw these little fuzzy pigs. We were pulling in to pick up some goats, and this herd of little fuzzy pigs came running up. And I just was like, what is that? I want them all. They were just cool looking little things. That's it. They're just a cool looking little pig. I talked to the guy a little bit. I'd heard about him before, but I'd never seen him in person. I asked the guy, come on, people say they just, all they need to eat is grass. You got to be supplementing them. He says, no. He says, they really get most of what you need off of grass. I give them very little bit of supplements, a little bit of slop, but they really do eat mostly grass. I said, how about the rooting thing? People say they don't root. He said, oh yeah, they tore my pasture all to pieces. It's a mess. I won't let them back on my cow pastures. So some of the hype seemed like true and some of the hype seemed false there, but a little bit of each. But I was curious. And then my middle son, he's like coming into his own on the farm. He wants to have pigs. The big pink pigs get big fast. It's not safe. These little Kunekunes, they stay small for a long time. And so we were talking about it, and Kay's like, I want to get him some Kunekunes. It's like, great. We'll try them. What the heck? Why not? It'll be fun. Because trying new things is fun. And it's good for you to try new things. You should try new things in your life. If you do the same old thing for 50 years, you could look back on that life and not be disappointed, but I would be. Honestly, if I did the same thing every year for 50 years, I'd be disappointed. That's just me. Everybody's different. So there, we went and got the Kunekunes, and of course, the comments section. I shouldn't read them, but I always do, because I know there's the good ones out there. I know you supporters out there. I got to read your words. But man, the people who were so negative about getting these pigs. Oh, it's all these homesteaders are lying about these pigs living off of grass, and all these people saying, oh, you can, it's just a bunch of baloney and blah, blah, blah. Who cares? I didn't come on here and say I got these Kunekunes because I think all they need to eat is grass. I'm going to make a bunch of money raising a bunch of pigs off of grass. I know pigs aren't ruminants. I don't know what they're going to be able to get off the pasture. I don't know. I haven't tried it. That's why you try new things, so you can learn and you can see and you can say, was my guess right or wrong? I'm a big fan of the scientific method. And I really believe more of us need to do our own research on our own homesteads. I have poured through lots of studies. And as time goes on, I become more and more disillusioned by going to studies for information. Because I realize, you know what? There's a lot of ways this information could be accurate, and there's a lot of ways it could not be. And just because it's a peer-reviewed paper doesn't make it, the hardcore truth of the universe. There are things scientists believed 30 years ago that we laugh at now. There's things scientists believed 10 years ago and 5 years ago. And there's things right now that some people believe and other people don't. And what I feel is most of us on our homesteads, the best thing we can do is try new things for ourselves and say, does this work for me? And don't listen to all the trolls out there who want to say a bunch of negative stuff. And that's why I don't listen to them. That's why they can say all the negative comments about these Kunekunes. Camel haters. The camel haters. People saying like, oh, you're a zoo now. Oh, you're zoo steady. Because my little baby boy can drink this milk. And now I have this animal on my homestead that I can give to my baby who can eat like 5 things. That makes me a zoo. Try new things. Push yourself and don't listen to the people, the trolls in your life, whether they're commenters on the internet or well-meaning friends who are like, why are you going to do that? Or family members like, you shouldn't do that. Don't listen to them. Don't. Try new things. Push yourself. That is one of the biggest reasons I started this show, was to encourage other people out there. I started this show, I had very little experience. This was not, hey, let me teach you a bunch of stuff when we started. It still isn't. That's why I invite guests on the show who have way more experience than me to teach. I like to convey the knowledge that I've learned from other experts who are out there. But I also like to try new things, and I'm encouraging you to do that too. So I hope you've enjoyed this live show. I'm looking forward to tomorrow's video. It's a nice update. You'll get to see a lot of what is going on the homestead. If you would like to be in the Pioneer hot seat, you got to be a Homesteady Pioneer. This is homesteady.com. Become a Pioneer, and you can join us for the hot seat. Please fill out an application if you'd like to join us for the hot seat. I would love to have you on the show, get a bunch of positive people who, no trolls, all positive-minded people who want to see you succeed, jump on your problems, jump on your ideas, and make them better. That's why we do this show. We'll see you in tomorrow's video.